You're pulled over or stopped by law enforcement. You know you haven't done anything serious, but suddenly an officer is questioning you about something minor, maybe a low-level drug possession charge or a simple property offense. You brace yourself, thinking you're about to be arrested. But instead of handcuffs, the officer hands you a citation and lets you go. That's cite and release in action. Cite and release is a policy in Texas that allows law enforcement to issue citations similar to traffic tickets instead of making arrests for certain low-level offenses. This means that instead of spending the night in jail and needing to post bond, the individual must appear in court at a later date. It doesn't mean the charge goes away, but it does mean avoiding the immediate consequences of an arrest. This policy was introduced in 2007 through an amendment to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, giving officers the option to issue citations for specific Class A and Class B misdemeanors instead of making an arrest. But it's important to remember that cite and release is not automatic. Officers still have the discretion to arrest someone. So why does Texas have cite and release? The policy was put in place to reduce jail overcrowding, free up law enforcement resources, and prevent individuals from being unnecessarily jailed for minor offenses. It also saves taxpayers money, avoids disrupting a person's job or family life, and can even help prevent racial profiling in policing. While this law exists statewide, not every county in Texas uses it. Some areas have fully embraced cite and release, while others still choose to arrest people for low-level misdemeanors. So what offenses qualify for cite and release in Texas? Some of the most common eligible charges include possession of small amounts of marijuana, graffiti, criminal mischief, and low-value theft offenses. Even some Class A misdemeanors, like possessing slightly larger amounts of marijuana, can be handled through cite and release. However, there are restrictions. Even if an offense qualifies, not every individual is eligible. Some jurisdictions only allow cite and release for residents of the county, and others prohibit its use if the person has outstanding warrants, appears intoxicated, or is suspected of committing other crimes. Law enforcement always has the final say on whether they issue a citation or make an arrest. This policy is used inconsistently across the state. Some of the counties that allow cite and release include Harris, Baird, Travis, and Tarrant, along with cities like Austin, Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. However, even within these areas, the extent of the program varies. For example, some counties use cite and release only for marijuana possession, while others apply it to all eligible offenses. In places like Bexar County, there are dedicated cite and release programs with special court dockets to process these cases more efficiently. So what happens after you get a cite and release ticket? A person who receives a citation still has to go to court. The citation will have a mandatory court date where they must appear and address the charges. Skipping this court date? That's a big mistake. Failure to appear can result in additional legal consequences, including warrants, fines, or even an eventual arrest. At the court appearance, the individual will be processed, possibly fingerprinted, and will have the opportunity to request a court-appointed attorney if they can't afford one. It's also important to understand what cite and release is not. It does not mean the charges disappear. The person still faces prosecution, fines, and possible criminal penalties. It simply allows them to avoid immediate arrest and booking at the time of the offense. So, do you need an attorney if you receive a cite and release ticket? Absolutely. Even though a citation is less intimidating than an arrest, it is still a criminal charge, one that can result in a conviction, fines, or even potential jail time depending on the circumstances. Having an experienced criminal defense attorney can make a huge difference. A lawyer can fight to get the charge dismissed, negotiate for a lesser penalty, or explore diversion programs that could keep the charge off your record entirely. At Varghese Summersett, we handle cite and release cases in counties across Texas. If you or a loved one has received a citation and need legal guidance, don't take chances with your future. Search for Varghese Summersett on Google. You can call us at 817-203-2220, or you can find us online at versustexas.com.